Howdy, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope your week's going well so far. We're going to talk about rain. A little bit of rain, but rain nonetheless. So, we'll talk radar, we'll jump into tropics, we'll do your forecast from day 1 to day 10 here on Facebook and on YouTube, wherever you're joining us this afternoon. If you have any questions as we go along, feel free to put them in the chat, or if you just have any comments, also feel free to put those in the chat. We're about 9 minutes out from KBTX News at 5, so I will keep this pretty brief so you've got time to close out and head over to channel 3. But the focus that we're going to start with, it's the fact that some showers and a few thunderstorms are moving into Brazos Valley. You can already see, though, they're starting to fizzle, starting to wane. They are doing their best. It's been very, very dry. It's been 30 consecutive days without seeing measurable rainfall out of Easterwood Airport specifically, but that's kind of been the general consensus for the entirety of the Brazos Valley. Today, we're breaking that streak for some. So far, not for Easterwood, not for most of Bryan College Station, in fact. But let's focus on where it is raining. So we've seen a lot of this kind of latch onto this northeasterly flow that's been with us for most of your Tuesday. Some additional moisture has joined us over the past 24, 48 hours, which you've noticed if you've stepped outside through the afternoon. Even the morning, it's been a little bit muggier than the past week or so it's been a little bit less comfortable. But that's what these showers are latching onto to produce at least a brief shower thunderstorm. So let's pause it to where we sit right now. It's 4:52 on Tuesday. Not a ton to look at. A few little thunderstorms coming together across East Texas and the far eastern reaches of Trinity County. As we move closer to I-45, a lot of that kind of fizzles out before it can jump over and move into the central counties. A few little showers for portions of Robertson and Leon, and even one little cluster to the southeast of Madisonville there. A little bit more. Really, a lot of this is all along and east of I-45, and then it struggles to keep itself together as it moves off to the south and west. So that's kind of what we've been watching all day. It's been a struggle to get rain for most of us today, but some have seen some showers, and we will take what we can get. This is about what we expected in the forecast today. We knew it was going to be light in coverage, low in accumulations, and very short-lived. So no surprises here. We just wish that we could get more, obviously. I know a lot of us looking to find more rain, drought really becoming a problem. We'll get a new drought monitor in 2 days, and I imagine it is going to look worse than the one that we got last week, unfortunately, but that's just the reality of how dry it has been. Again, 30 going on 31 days for many of us to not have seen measurable rainfall. That's going to start to make an impact. So that's pretty much it as far as the rainfall goes today, and that's kind of what we expect for the next several days. So when we talk about moving forward, we're going to start to see dry air mix in. For now, again, moisture with us, which is how we're able to even get a little chance of rain. If we look at dew points, or rather, if we look at feels like temperatures right now, you can see that the dew points are elevated because air temperature, 93, feels like temperature, 96. For the past week, those have kind of been flipped, where it actually feels cooler than what the thermometer shows you. Not the case today. Again, that's all thanks to the moisture moving in, which we need, but if you're not getting it in the form of rain, then you're just feeling it with humidity. Winds out of the north right now on the breezier side. Some of those thunderstorms pushing out. Some nice gusts right now, sustained at about 12 miles per hour out of College Station. If you're a little bit further to the east, you're likely seeing some breezier conditions. But that's about what we're getting today. We won't shut off the tap until the sun sets tonight, closer to 7:30 or so. Beyond that, it's going to be hard to find anything or sustain anything that is up and going because we just won't have enough energy to keep those alive. So cross your fingers over the next 2.5 hours that you get some rain overhead, but a lot of us unfortunately are going to miss out on that again today. So we talk about Wednesday. We're going to again continue to cross the fingers for some more rain chances as we head through the afternoon hours. I'm looking mostly at our southern counties tomorrow because a lot of us from the north to the central counties are going to start to feel a little bit drier air mixing in, but we have a little bit more moisture to work with closer to the coast. So this is forecast radar beyond 2, 3 o'clock. I think late afternoon, early evening is our best chance, kind of the same window we're watching unfold today. Even then, again, it's probably another dry day for most, unfortunately. I know that's not what we want to hear. Only thing that could really look to shake that up, and I don't think that it's going to all that much, is in the tropics. We've got 2 areas we're watching, if this will load. There we go. Okay, first, we've got now Tropical Storm Jerry. That's our 10th named storm of the season. As of this morning, it's officially a tropical storm. And you notice it's a very familiar track as far as this season is concerned. We've seen a lot of activity bubble up kind of in the central Atlantic, take a turn, or rather take a trip to the west before taking a turn to the north. That's a great track in terms of steering away from the United States. So we'll watch that because it is still forecast to strengthen. We know that's a very conducive environment for further tropical development. So I do expect it will strengthen. But again, taking that same kind of turn, we'll hope for that. But we'll watch for some of those islands out in the Atlantic, potentially getting some at least heavy rainfall and some strong surf. So keep an eye on that. But as far as the U.S., state of Texas, Brazos Valley is concerned, not expecting many impacts. One place that's closer to home, though, that's an area that we're watching little disturbance moving over the Yucatan Peninsula. It is set to continue to track to the west before arriving in the Gulf. Low chance of development because it's got such a short amount of time that it can spin over those open, warm waters. It would need a little bit more time to get its act together, organize, strengthen, and become something tropical. So I think, again, I agree with National Hurricane Center. The odds look low for that. And right now, the current trajectory of this system looks like it's just going to spin into the east coast of Mexico. So I do think we could see some of the outer moisture that try to surge back in, but most of that stays to our south. So you can kind of see that unfolding here on radar and satellite right now. Let me get my little pointer. So you can see everything pretty disorganized here over the peninsula. It is set to slide over to the west and then likely just arrive again on the east coast of Mexico. So seeing some scattered showers kind of work up the coastline right now. Little activity that's trying to, again, move in, but most of our activity today has been brought in from the north and northeast. So not latching on to much tropical moisture today, and I don't anticipate we will in the short term at least. Okay, now let's talk about the positive side of the forecast, the fact that dry air is mixing in. So here's the setup we're watching. A pretty comfortable dry air mass already exists off to our north and west, and you can see it's kind of inching closer and closer to the panhandle. That's going to sink down over the next 48, 72 hours, and as that dry air slips down, we're going to get a little bit of a dry front, a little bit of a cool front, where we get our winds to flip back around out of the north and east, and this time bringing in some drier air. So this will be a dry frontal passage. I don't expect that we'll see any showers, and this will, in fact, kind of eliminate the fuel to keep anything going or to get anything going. And that's why our dew points look like this by the time we wake up on Saturday morning. Dew points in the 40s and 50s, that is so comfortable. Really low humidity. We'll take that when it comes to temperatures. So if we talk about the next couple of days, you'll notice you step outside each morning, it feels kind of sticky, but by the time that you wake up Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning, into Monday, even early next week, it's going to feel really, really lovely out there. I encourage you, get out early and enjoy that, because on the flip side of the clock, things still look pretty warm. When we talk about afternoon temperatures, there's not going to be as drastic of a change, but I still do think we could slip below 90 over the next couple of afternoons. But the dry heat, that usually allows us to heat up pretty efficiently. So we'll see how we fare through the afternoon, but at least the heat index will be potentially negative. It will likely feel much more comfortable than what we're dealing with today, tomorrow, potentially even into Thursday, but things start to dry out and that will feel good. The problem is that means elevated fire danger, drought, likely worsening, and then it's harder to find rain chances. So it's kind of a catch-22, and obviously we really need the rainfall for a multitude of reasons. So we're trying to get that, but it has been hard to find, and that's kind of unfortunately what we predicted, is that the start to October looked very dry, and it has been very dry. So we, unfortunately, not too many changes in the 10-day forecast. I'll show you that really quickly. Now we're about 1 minute out from the start of KBTX News at 5, so I'll wrap this up. But just a quick look ahead. You can see, focus on the mornings. The mornings are going to be beautiful once we get past tomorrow. Tomorrow's still a little muggy. And then we head through the weekend, starting off game day early on Saturday. Great, get out early. It feels lovely, even maybe a little bit chilly, especially further out of town. I think we wake up in the upper 50s. By the afternoon, we're climbing to the upper 80s. No chance of rain, which is good football weather. So we're gonna just do a glass half full forecast here. That's good football weather. Okay, we're taking on Florida, a 6 p.m. kick at Kyle Field. So once the sun sets again, kind of third and fourth quarter should feel pretty comfortable. Tailgating again will be warm. Beyond that, it looks to be more of the same, unfortunately. So enjoy the mornings, and everybody cross your fingers rain makes it to the Brazos Valley, because it's been a really dry stretch, and our front yards, our vegetations, our crops need the rain. And then again, fire danger also a concern, because we do expect some breezier conditions over the next few days. So a reminder, I'll pull up the burn ban map. We've got 3 counties actively under burn bans. even if you're not, know that the next several days fire danger will be elevated due to the unfortunate perfect recipe for the smallest spark or flame to spread very quickly. If you're in Milam, Robertson, or Madison counties, know that outdoor burning of any kind, prohibited. No matter what, prohibited. If you're anywhere else, try to eliminate that. Take it off the to-do list. Hold off until we can get some more moisture moving in if possible, because again, it's dry. You know that if you just look outside, it's really dry. So please be cognizant of that. Sprinklers probably going to be needed over the next several weeks. So I will put the 10-day back up here and leave you with that, and encourage you to head over to KBTX News at 5. Chief Meteorologist Max Crawford will have your full forecast there, a closer look at that. We've also got more details on the tropics up online. Meteorologist Kaylee Thomas wrote a wonderful article on that. If you're curious to be tracking the tropics along with us, you can find everything at kbtx.com or with your First Alert weather app. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your Tuesday. Hoping we get some more rain to move in through the rest of the afternoon. But it's a cross your fingers, don't hold your breath kind of situation.